Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Daniel from the Gathering of Christ Church in Cleveland, Ohio. And today we just want to be out here and reach the people, you know. We're gonna start just reading the book of James. We're just gonna read through the book of James. This is a very great book, a lot of edification in this book. And without further ado, let us begin.
This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1. James, a servant of God and the Lord Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
And to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, that is us, that is our people. And you can see that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Verse 2, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations.
Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. So when things aren't going your way, instead of being down, bring yourself up. It's a good thing. Read.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
That's the trying of your faith. It worketh patience in you. So when things aren't going your way, I'll give you an example. Say you're driving and somebody cuts you off. That's to work your patience. Instead of getting angry, you know, whatever you have to do, count to yourself, breathe in and out, calm yourself down, because that's going to help you be more patient. Read.
But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing.
That you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. And that's the goal. Read.
If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
So if you were to ask the Most High of wisdom, you can't doubt it. You have to know that the Most High will give you wisdom when you ask of him. Read.
For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You have to be either hot or cold. You can't be in the middle. That's lukewarm. And the Most High said he will spew you out.
Verse 8.
That is verse 8 in James chapter 1. Read.
Verse 9. Let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, but with what withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perisheth. So also shall the rich man fade away in his ways.
So you see these rich people out here driving in Benzes and Bentleys. They got it good now, but eventually, like a flower, is going to fade away when they die because they weren't doing the works that the Most High told them to do when they were alive. Read.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to him that love him.
So as it said earlier, blessed is the man that endureth temptation. So again, when you have things going wrong in your life, you have to be able to stay patient and go through that and know that that's God's way of trying you. Read.
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God.
So you can't say that because I'm tempted, God tempted me. God does not tempt anyone.
For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
Right.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
So when you're tempted, you're drawn away on your own lust. That's you. That's what you want. God didn't tempt you. You are tempting yourself because that's something that you want to do, but you have to fight that. That's the flesh. We got to walk in the spirit and not in the flesh.
Then when love hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Right.
Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
So every good gift cometh from God. I see people all the time say, they have these t-shirts out now that say, I'm self-made, or I did this by myself. God put that talent in you, so it's our duty to give glory to the Most High all the time, because without him, we wouldn't even be here.
Verse 18, of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
That is key. If you can, sir, can you read that one more time?
Wherefore, my brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath.
Swift to hear. I know a lot of people they'll hear something, and before you even finish the sentence, they have their own idea of what happened. We have to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. So whatever it be, rumors or anything, you have to hear it out, and you have to judge that. You can't sit back and say, oh, he said this. Oh, really? I'm just gonna, do whatever I want to do because I heard this person say that. You have to assess the whole situation before you react.
Verse 20, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
What? So it says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. So a lot of people, they hear the word and they'll say, oh, that makes sense, that's good. But then go about their day and do whatever they want. When you hear the word, you're supposed to do what the word told you. Be ye doers of the word. Faith without works is dead. Read.
Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
Right, that's like you looking in the mirror and you see yourself, you see your hair don't look right, but then you just walk away and say, oh, that's how you are with your problems. You know you might have an addiction to smoking cigarettes, you might be a drunkard, and you know you're supposed to change, but you hear the Bible tell you you're supposed to change, and you don't change, you just walk away and go about your day. We're supposed to self-examine ourselves and do better every day. Read.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
That man shall be blessed in his deed. Those are works that'll follow you, so when you die, you have something good to bring before the Father before judgment. Read.
If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is in vain. Pure religion is and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
And that's our goal, to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. We got to do better. We got to be a light, We got to do better in our lives. And again, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm only 18. But I'm going to continue to do the right because I know that in the end, it'll pay off. Read.
All right. Peace and shalom. My name is Brother Kawan with the Gathering of Christ Church. And we just out here trying to bring y'all back to y'all light, back to your laws, your covenant with God. We just want to wake you up today and spiritually edify you. Allow you to understand that you are more than what you are living right now. You are meant to be more. We have more waiting for us, more in store for us. God gave us laws, so that's our covenant with him. If we were to uphold our laws, we would be kings and queens on this earth. But obviously that ain't happened. God would never lie to us. And we not kings and queens right now, so something went wrong. We know the 10 Commandments, that was our covenant. We can get that for you right now. Give me Exodus 20.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before him. Why? Because he made us. He's the Most High. Why would we put something before that? Whatever God that you are worshiping, that you are praying to, that God is not the most. So why would you even pray to that? Why would you even subject yourself to something lesser than what you can have? Read.
Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
We should have no graven image. That's money. That's your dolls. That's your statues. We should have no graven image. That cross you wear around your neck, that stone that you bowing down to, even the star on top of your Christmas tree, all these images that you have, these are your graven images. We're not supposed to be bowing down to them. And literally, read that again.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
So it says you should not make unto thee any graven image of any likeness of anything that's in the heaven above. So if you think Mary in heaven and you go in the Catholic Church, you wrong. Because I tell you now, y'all not worshiping Christ, you worshiping Mary. You're not supposed to have no graven image. You're not supposed to sit there and then bow down to your Christmas tree to get your present. That's an image. That's an idol. Read.
Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
That's your Christmas tree. Read.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So way back, our ancestors fell off. They started worshiping other gods. They started worshiping graven images, making these idols, the calf, serving all this wickedness. And all their transgression has come down upon us, the third and fourth generation. And here we are trying to wake us up and trying to teach you how not to do these things no more so we can come back to our better light. Give me,
The book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Look at that right there. Now I know it's a lot of us out here that don't go to church on Saturday. It's a lot of us out here that don't go to church on Saturday. Now, what's your seventh day? What's the seventh day of the week? Because I know my week start on Sunday. It's only 7 days in a week. That means Saturday my last day. So why we not at church on Saturday? Let me ask y'all, where y'all coming from? Where are y'all headed? Y'all going to church, right? What'd y'all do yesterday? I was at church. I dedicated my whole Saturday to the Most High. Why? Because I should not do no servile work. My whole family, my wife, my son, my daughter, my manservant, thy maidservant, nor thy cattle. Nothing in my family does work on the Sabbath day. Why? Because he hallowed that day. That is a commandment. These first couple commandments show us that we need to love God above everything. God is number one. We should have no other gods before him. No graven images. We should not take his name in vain, and we should worship him. We should set a rest on his day, on the Sabbath day. That's commandment number. That's the biggest commandment. Give me you in Matthew? No, give me Matthew 22. Matthew 22:34. Christ told us there was two great commandments. One of them was love God, and the other was love your neighbor as yourself. The rest of these 10 commandments is all about loving your neighbor. Thou shalt not steal, shalt not kill, shall not bear false witness, loving your parents and honoring them. You should not covet what your neighbor has. Work for your own. Christ gave us these two commandments, and these two commandments sum up the whole 10. You got 34? Read.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
So these people, they heard that he put the Sadducees in silence. So they said, okay, he can't do that to us. So here they go trying to test the Most High. Read.
Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying.
Tempting him. They were tempting Christ, trying to get him to slip up. This is how cold our Christ is. Read.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Christ said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So we have to love God with all our soul, all our heart, all our mind. And then we have to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Now, how do we love God? How do we love God? That's the biggest question. You think loving God is just saying, oh, I love God. I believe in God. That's not loving God. That's belief. And what's even crazier is you don't even really believe. You just know that he's there. Because if you believed, you would follow, like my brother Daniela was saying. If you believed, you would really be praying to him. You would really be doing his will. This right here, this will show you how to love God. This is in your King James Bible that you can pick up anywhere. Read.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
It's not even hard to keep the commandments. That's how you love him right there. We just read in 1 John 5:3. It is not grievous to keep his commandments. So why do we make it so hard? Why do we choose to serve other gods? It shows that you haven't read. It shows that you haven't seen what happened to us in the first place. You haven't studied to show thyself approved. You have to read. History is doomed to repeat itself if we have no knowledge of it.
Good afternoon. My name is Brother Tazapah from Gathering Christ Church. And today we're going to talk about how we got in this situation. Because this right here, which we call the ghetto, the rundown place, it wasn't always like this. We didn't end up like this. No, it wasn't always like this. Not where we started at. Actually, we started as kings at one time. But we failed through disobedience, not following those laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High had gave to us, that the Lord our God who sits on the throne, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as you see on my shirt. That Bible, that King James Bible, is our true history. You know, sometimes they call us, back then they called us color, Negro, brown, African American. Now we have circled back to what we really were called Hebrews. It's not a group, it's not a religion, it's a people. That's what the Most High gave, that's what the Most High named us. He named us Hebrews. We were great people back then, but we fell off through disobedience by trying to follow these other nations, doing everything they wanted to do. That's why they keep us in the way we are now. That's why they keep us in run-down houses, in bad neighborhoods, struggling, being under slavery. We're gonna start with Deuteronomy. Okay. We're gonna start with Deuteronomy 28. Go ahead and read. This is what the Most High did when we were blessed, when we follow those laws, statutes, commandments. Watch what he said. Go ahead and read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
Hearken means listen. If you listen to me, the Most High, I will bless you. Read.
To observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will be set upon high above all the nations of the earth. And all the nations shall come on thee and overtake thee. If thou shalt hearken the voice of the Lord thy God, blessed shall be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field.
So blessed shall thou be in the cities, and blessed shall thou be in the fields. Meaning you will own crops, land, cities. We'll be the ones living in the Hamptons and Beverly Hills. That's what we should have been. We should have been all the diplomats when all you see was us. Other nations had to come to us for jobs. Not the other way around. We now go to them for jobs. We go to them for loans to take out. They put 30-year fixed mortgage on us. Put us in bondage. Go ahead, read verse
4. This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
Blessed should be the fruit of our bodies. That means we're not supposed to be getting sick like we are right now. if we had followed the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments that he laid down. We were supposed to be healthy. We were supposed to have no cancer and AIDS and all these other diseases that beats us down. Being overweight, out of shape, including myself. We're supposed to be healthy and vibrant, in excellent shape. We're not supposed to need all these doctors and all these medications, but we fail. Do not follow the laws through the stupidity. We fail by following other nations in their other ways, by being unrighteous. How you doing, brother? That's how we fail. The Most High is saying, if we do these, we follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, none of this stuff won't fall on us. Go ahead, read.
It's Deuteronomy 28 and verse 5. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face.
As you notice, he said, blessed shall be our land, our families, everything. We will be blessed and abundantly if we follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. We were not supposed to be in this predicament. We were not supposed to be burying our children. Through history, the children are supposed to be burying the parents, our grandparents. It's reversed. You have parents burying their children, their young ones, babies, because we fail so hard. Where is the understanding in that? The Bible warned us that we would be in this situation, following these other wicked nations, not doing righteousness, not following these commandments. We fail hard. Go ahead, read. Now he's going to tell us what happens when we didn't follow the commandments. This is where these curses have fallen on us. This is how you know we're the children of Israel. Listen to this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, starting at verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you hearken, if you will not listen, if you will not hear me, this is the Most High saying this. This is God saying this. If you don't listen to me, Israel, if you don't listen to me, black folks, this is what's going to happen to you. Go ahead, read.
To observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Exodus 20, the 10 commandments, which we do not follow. If you do not follow these 10 commandments, these laws, statutes, commandments, this situation you in right now is the reason for it. I'm going to bring hardship on you. Hardship that you were not prepared for, because you had, back then, our forefathers had so easy. Before we fail, before we start following other nations, before we refuse to follow the Most High, before we start acting like every other nation. Go ahead, read.
Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. 17, cursed shalt thou basket be in thy store.
Cursed shall you be in the cities. Look at the city, run down, drive-by shootings. Cursed shall thou be in the fields. You won't own anything. You will have to buy from there. You'll be working the fields. Remember the cotton fields when we were slaves? They brought us over the slave ships. That's a curse on us. They worked us from sun up to sundown. A lot of us died off because we were cursed. Because we did not follow the Most High God. We chose to do our own thing, and we paid the price for it. Even to today, we're still paying the price. A lot of times people think, well, you know, we're not in bondage anymore. Actually, we are. We're still suffering. We're still in bondage. We're in bondage under these banks. People who have houses and car notes. If you don't pay your house note, if you don't pay your car note, you lose your house. They repo your car. You're on the street. You lose your shelter, your place of warmth. And anybody know living up in Cleveland, the weather is not too kind in the wintertime.
All right, shalom, shalom. My name is Brother Yashar from the Gathering of Christ Church.
And we just come out here to preach to you the truth of who you are, the truth of what's going on in the world right now, the truth about how you need to maintain or establish your relationship with Christ. Because it's not according to what we've learned in these churches. My alarm's going off here. It's not according to what we've learned in the Sunday church. And some people may get offended by that. But we're not out here to offend you. We're here to bring you the truth. We're here to bring you warnings. Because there's a lot going on right now that indicate that we are truly in the last days. There's things going on around you right now that are matching up with the prophecy of the scriptures. But we've been misled to believe that a lot of this stuff doesn't matter. A lot of people think that they're not going to go through these tribulations and are not prepared for them. A lot of you think that before these turbulent times happen in the Bible that you're going to be raptured away and you won't have to deal with any of this stuff. Christ gave us warnings. All we got to do is follow the scripture to understand what times we're in right now, because we have to prepare. And we're going to get that through scripture. There was every time the turbulent times came about, Christ prepared us. The Most High prepared us. He warned us about what was getting ready to happen. And the same things that are happening now were happening back in those days when those turbulent times took place. People were warned before the flood, but nobody did anything. They just laughed at Noah. So we're going to start breaking down what's going on now and make you understand that God is calling you to come up out of this place. This place is spiritual Babylon in the Bible. And the prophecies are happening right now, and nobody's prepared to deal with them because we think you're going to be raptured up into heaven and not go through these turbulent times. You're about to go through them. But there's some things you have to do to get ready for it. Read.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen.
Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Babylon is America in the Bible, folks. That's America in the Bible. And we can prove that. Come on over and talk to us. This place is falling. Look around you. Look at what's going on in this economy. Look at what's going on with these wars. We're going to get into that too. This place is falling. And you guys know it. You guys can see it. But a lot of us have been taught that it doesn't matter. A lot of us we know it's happening but don't know what to do. Read.
And is become the habitation of devils.
Has become the habitation of devils. Everything immoral. Everything immoral is put on a pedestal in this country. This country's so immoral that we actually defend immoral actions. Think about it. We defend immoral actions and use religion to justify those actions, talking about I'm under grace so I can keep doing what I was doing. That's not scripture. That's not the Christ of the Bible. Read.
And the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Read.
Verse 3. For all nations have drunken the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All nations mimic America. All nations want to do the same things that we do. Look at the Olympics yesterday. Y'all know where I'm getting at. Wasn't much pushback from the Christian community about that, especially on mainstream media. Wasn't much pushback. This place has become a representation of immorality. Read.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Every other country living lavishly off of America, mimicking themselves around America, accepting the immorality that this country accepts. Read.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
And the merchants of the earth have waxed rich. But a lot of that's starting to change now. A lot of that's changing. That's another thing. You don't see, the American dollar is not the main source of currency for the world anymore. But we sweep that under the rug and don't pay attention to that. Babylon the Great is falling. It's not even the main currency for the world anymore. Look it up. Read.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people.
Another voice said, come out of her, my people. That means it's time to start leaving these Democrats and Republicans alone. Neither one of them have your best interests in mind. The Democratic Party don't want to do nothing for you. Republicans don't want to do nothing for you. But their morals are a little closer to Christ than the Democrats. I'll tell you that. But neither one of them want to do nothing for you.
All right, y'all. The Gathering of Christ Church up here. Y'all see us up here all the time. We be reading for y'all the Wada Tazapah. Now, Dorian, after he's done, I want you to check that because that's your job. All right, so once he's done, just oversee and make sure everything is good. All right, so we out here again talking to y'all about what's in the Bible, about what's going on in the world. A lot of my brothers done already brought it out for y'all. How you doing, my brother? A lot of brothers done brought it. We just talking about what's going on in the world, man. And things are getting a little bit hectic out here right about now. I'm telling you that most people got to come back to the Most High.
I had a question for you.
Well, go ahead. He got you. Go ahead. So what we trying to do is tell people that it's time for you to wake up. It's high time for you to come out of sleep, right? People out here, when we say that they sleeping, what we saying is they not really realizing what's going on around them. It's all kinds of things that's happening. My man that went home, he done changed, put on his God shirt, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, brother, we gotta get you in the army, but here's the thing. Though, once we follow him and say, my God, miracle worker, promise keeper, yeah, okay, and light in the darkness. All of that is true, my brother. All of that is true. Here's the thing, though. Once we make that decision to go follow the Most High God, we got to put away all of that bad stuff. We got to put away all filthiness, all superfluity. One of the main things we got to do, though, is make sure we're not giving to too much wine. We can't drink in excess, right? Go to Revelations and get me the sorceries. So we got to make sure that we don't go through and do these things in the world that's going to get us all messed up. What we got to know out here, everybody, is once we go ahead and once we, take all of these things into our bodies, we do get another level of consciousness. But what that consciousness does is it opens us up so that we end up being allowing to let in more spirits. We might think that we connecting with something divine. We might think, oh yeah, you know what, I can think better when I get high and this and that. Yeah, you do think better because you just opened yourself up to something and you allowing some other being to communicate with you. The question is, what being is it that's communicating with you? You there, Revelation 18? All right, let's get it.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee.
So what it's saying right here is you ain't going to even be able to hear the word of Christ. You ain't going to be able to hear what Christ is talking about. That's going to actually not even be able to enter into your soul, into your system, into your ears for you to understand what's going on. At some point, the Most High is going to actually shut things down so that you can't even take in what he's given. You go to Romans chapter 1 for me. Keep reading.
For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived.
He says, so there was the great merchants of the whole earth and the sorceries. The sorceries is what had the whole nations deceived. How you doing? I see you checking this out. The sorceries is what had the whole nations deceived. But that word, when you look it up, we reading out of a King James Bible. This is English, right? But it's written in Greek, what it's translated from. And when you look up that word sorceries, it's actually pharmakeia, which is where you get pharmaceuticals or pharmacies, like your CVS's, like your Rite Aids. The words the world was deceived by the drugs that they gave them. They got the world high. That's what they did. They got the world high. And when you high, you make bad decisions. It don't matter if you drunk. It don't matter if you smoking weed. It don't matter if you shooting up. Don't matter if you got popping pills. I don't care what it is. It's Molly, the scissor, whatever it is. If you getting drunk to excess, you opening yourself up to something else. Now the question is, what's talking to you? Because the Most High, what he says is, you can't be a drunkard. So if you getting high, you getting drunk and you thinking that I'm connecting with God, you got it all backwards, because he said, I ain't even dealing with you when you're doing that. So you communicating with something, but what you communicating with? Well, we know what it is. It's a demon. It's a spirit. Because most of the time, once you get drunk and you get high, what happens? You make bad decisions. Whether it's, letting that shorty come over or the shorty letting the dude come over. Whether it's you hanging with the crowd, y'all decide y'all gonna hit a lick, y'all gonna rob somebody. When you get drunk, you get high, some bad stuff usually happens, right? When you sober-minded, then that's when you stay within yourself and you do the things that you know that you're supposed to do. So what he just read here is, at some point, the Most High, actually Christ is going to be withdrawn. Like, I ain't even going to be dealing with them no more. I ain't even talking to them no more. You ain't going to be able to hear what he's saying. Then you're going to go and get high. You're going to go get drunk. And then you're going to go make bad decisions. And then the neighborhood is going to look like it look right now. Not only this neighborhood, but the whole world is going to look like what it look like right now. That's why we got baby mamas everywhere. That's why we got people getting shot up everywhere, right? We even got people that's just dropping dead right now. What they dropping dead from? From the pharmakeia, from the pharmaceuticals, from the shots that they was taking. People was taking them. Now look at it. They just walking around and then falling over dead. I'm talking about, we got actual people that's, athletes that's walking around, driving their bikes, doing the marathon, and they just fall over dead. People in the practice, they fall over dead. But now we're going to go into Romans 1. We're going to start at about verse 20, and then we're going to tell you what the Most High is saying to you, because you can't be that kind of person and then also say that you're going to follow God. We got to turn away from the darkness, and we got to walk to the light. Just like your shirt say, my brother, the Most High, he turns the light or the darkness into light. He shines the light into the darkness, but then we got to walk to that light. We can't stay in that darkness. Go ahead, read.
The book of Romans chapter 1 verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen.
So it's things that you could see that's just common sense. We could see this a boy dog. We could see it's a girl dog. That's common sense. We could just see that. We could see that a man and a woman, that they come together and they make babies. The only way that you cannot do that is if you do some science. You go to 1 Timothy, give me chapter 6, go to verse 20. The only way you could do that is if you do something that's roundabout, not doing what the Most High wants you to do. Go ahead.
Being understood by the things that are made.
Again, it's understood. It's clearly seen, and you could clearly understand it. Even things that make it. Even the buck, the deer with the horns. He know to go after the female deer, right? He know to go after the doe. Go ahead.
Even his eternal power and Godhead.
And all of us that's humans know that there's something greater than us out here. Even if we don't know exactly what it is, all of us know that there's something that's out here. Go ahead.
So that they are without excuse.
There ain't no excuses. We know right and wrong. When we go to rob somebody, we know that we wrong for robbing them, period. Even if you say, I'm hungry, I gotta eat, I gotta feed my kids, whatever the case is, when we go to do something wrong, we know that we doing something wrong. Now, you might hope that you don't get caught, and you might not get caught by the law, but the Most High is seeing everything. The world calls it karma, but what the Bible says is you're gonna reap what it is that you sow. What you put in that ground, that's what's gonna come back out. What the seed you plant, that's the plant that's gonna sprout up. So if you planting in some wickedness, then you can expect that some wickedness
wickedness is about to come back upon you. That's just what it is. It's just the truth. Go ahead.
Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They glorified him not as God.
So they know who God is, but they're not glorifying him. They know who he is, but they not doing anything to honor him. Ho, where you at? I need you to go to Book of James. I believe we're in chapter 2, where it says, you believe there's one God, you do well. Go to James. But ho, where you at? They know what to do. They know that there's a God, but they glorifying him not. And that's why we out here trying to talk to y'all, saying, look, we know that y'all know. Especially y'all that's done been out here listening to us talk for years now. We know that y'all know, but we gotta make a change. We gotta start walking the righteous path. And if you need help walking that righteous path, that's where brothers like us come in.